ability from rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam, how the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them. The blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry, because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married, and the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good, or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, He will fight the battle for you. And He will fight it without, because He will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, He will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before Him. And so when they go after you, oh well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell them we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right? Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby. This is my show. Thanks for tuning in on this fine Wednesday. What a fine Wednesday to be back. And I see y'all dancing it up in the chat. A pleasure. Look, we got a show to get into. I'm welcoming you all. We're doing the things. All right, I'm a little opening up my stuff here. Okay. Let me say hello properly to the people. Show some decorum. How you doing, folks, on this fine Wednesday? All my people here. So welcome. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. And of course, the people here on YouTube. Thank you. You'll notice that I am looking at my phone and not being rude, except to the people on Punchy.tv. No, never mind. We're fine. Don't worry about that. Welcome to the show. You got something on your mind. I've welcomed you. I said hello. You're saying hello back. You're clicking the like button. You're leaving a comment and showing some manners. Now that we did that, okay. Welcome. The number for the people who want to call in is 888-775-3773. You got something on your mind, something you want to talk about, some burning topic, question, you can. That's 888-775-3773. Now what else? That's pretty much all of our, that's our homework, okay? That's our housekeeping. You're here. You know the number. And I got stuff I want to get into. I want to jump into some of this stuff here. What else did I want to tell you guys? What else did I want to tell y'all? Hey, whatever. I mean, look, welcome everybody. We got the people in the chat. I think we got Kenna in the house. How you doing? And my people, how you doing? What else? Did I say rumble.com/American Anchor Baby? Thank you, Jules. Thank you, Hake. Amazing. What else? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. Because I got something to correct. How you doing? Thank you. Thank you. Gabrielle? Not Gabriel. I don't think that's Gabriel. Amazing. You lose your comb? What? You're not like, you don't like the soccer, you don't like the soccer, I can't see myself. The soccer curls? No, I need one of those headbands. Those like European, now really look European maybe. When they hold it like this. Do they do that anymore? I don't know if they do that anymore. These young soccer players, they're all wild with their hair. These young guys, they probably learned from the older guys. I mean, they've been doing wild hair for a while. But these young guys, they just want to party. They're not like that's what I've been hearing a little bit. And you know how you hear things about people, and then you're like, you confirm it in your head, and you're like, yep, that's the story. That's the story. Lamine Yamal is just partying. He's partying, having girlfriends. I know a young soccer player who's very gifted, but very distracted by young girls. And so you just, the stories in your head, you're like, yep, I saw him partying. In fact, that's true. He'll never be like Messi, Ronaldo. But where was I? What the? Nick working on his afro. I really want to correct some of this. And I see your calls coming in, 888-775-3773. There's a bit of a correction on the Montreal thing, and it was a shooting we covered yesterday. And it's dynamic. It's like the information's coming fast. And mainly what I want to correct is this picture. Now, I was saying yesterday that I doubted this picture. This is fresh reporting. I just found it just in the middle of my show as I was searching up the shooter's name, Seth Hatfield, who is reportedly the shooter at this Montreal, Quebec, Canada, a neighborhood, a known, they were saying a known Jewish neighborhood. Côte des Neiges individual went to ALO, what I believe is reportedly like a parent company of many pornography companies, et cetera, et cetera. We kind of went to it yesterday. Details I can probably sit here remembering details. Let's not spend too much time there. I remember they were saying what? Oh, it was like an anti-Semitic attack. I'm not saying the guy loved Jews. That might have, but it seemed to have like some maybe other things included. Okay, I don't know if Jews and anti-Semitism was the main thing, but I've barely cracked into his manifesto. I saw this independent journalist read it, and I've read a bit of it. We might get into it. It's somewhat interesting the things people think. But where was I? Seth Hatfield, I showed you this alleged pic yesterday. I'm like, guys, this is pretty quick reporting. They're saying this is an incel shooter, right? Because his alleged manifesto had come out, and it was full of reportedly stuff about women. Hypergamy was the main topic, as Michael Tracy said it was. He apparently read every page, and I read quite. I'm in quite a few pages, and the guy Seth Hatfield, if this is really his manifesto and all that, he spends a lot of time laying out the foundation of what he's talking about. How in nature, he explains the basics of reproduction and goes into the dimorphism of vertebrates and how there's male and female and their behaviors are different, and that includes their mating behavior. So hypergamy was a topic. We'll get into that in a sec. But I was showing you this picture of the alleged Montreal cop killer Seth Hatfield. And I'm like, wait, this is I'm like, this is the incel? Like, this is the incel? Of course, in that very moment, I failed to say no homo, and that was my bad. You know, there was subtext in what I was saying. I'm like, this can't be the incel. What do you say, Nick? That he's attractive? But I was thinking like muscles, like it's just not your typical incel, like it's not your typical incel that you see, even the other shooters, even other mass shooters. I saw this still. This is the still I saw of the video, the violent video of the shooting. I saw this. And I'm like, even my callers, we were like, oh, is that really the same guy? I don't know. I don't think that's the same guy. Call me crazy. He's not an incel. He's an inkcel. Swole incel. They are swole. They're. I'm adding flame. I'm adding fire to a side convo in the chat. Finally, some are saying, "Okay, we're playing around." And so, anyway, I thought so too. That wasn't the guy, and it's not. It's not the guy. Okay, we're done with that. It's not the guy. Seth Hatfield, and we'll get to calls. This is the reported picture going around. This is Montreal Gazette of Seth Hatfield. Okay, let's just make sure that's muted. Make sure we don't get blasted with anything. I don't know where. Okay, so that's him. Apparently, I don't know when this was. Apparently high school yearbook photo. Identified by the Quebec coroner as a suspected gunman in Monday's Côte des Neiges shootings. So this is Seth. And where was I? I had seen some commentary about this picture too. Who was it? It was like Maybe it was Michael Tracy even. I saw it on the Hake Report, I think. He was wondering, like, I'm looking at this guy. I'm paraphrasing what he said. He's like, I'm looking at this guy, and I don't see how he could be like this incel. Like, so I don't know, Michael Tracy. I mean, you didn't say no homo after that one. No. I read the subtext, Michael. And you know what? He's a good-looking young man. It is maybe a little... I understand what he was saying there. Is this really like worthy of being left out of the sexual marketplace, not having a full life? And some of that even makes sense to people. I want to explain what hypergamy is briefly. And it's, I don't know, maybe it sometimes sounds solid, but I feel like it falls apart when you really scrutinize some things. This worldview that these guys have been building up over time, scrolling, watching, but more than anything, thinking and concluding. And that what the motivating force behind those conclusions ain't always good. So anyways, that's Seth Hatfield. That's some of the reporting from yesterday. A little bit more, some of the details from yesterday. Like, for example, this alleged manifesto. I'm being careful, you know. As it stands, I mean, BBC's like, this is not confirmed that it's his. It's been going around, but nobody said that it's confirmed. And the death of this Mizrahi individual, 64-year-old Michael Mizrahi, who they were saying was, you know, those early reports were saying like, oh, he's a rabbi or something, and apparently that might not be true. Hold on. Just dealing with something here. I think we're good. Just making sure something's fine. 888-775-3773. I see your calls coming in. I want to get your comments on this. And you guys got other things to talk about. So that was just some of the reporting from yesterday, how it stands today. But yeah, back to the guy. I mean, is this an incel? I mean, worthy of being, like I was saying, left out? I mean, that's a lot of what was in the alleged manifesto, and it's some of the talk you may have heard of. You may have heard similar talk when such words come up: incel, hypergamy, dating. So, what's he talking about? What are they talking about? Why did he write a whole alleged manifesto on it? He feels so strongly about it, and maybe you're left wondering, like, so are men being left out? And what is this full life? What is going on? What is it? Hypergamy, from the Greek, hyper, from the Greek hyper, meaning above, and the Greek gamos. Where my Greeks at? I think you'll appreciate it. Gamos, which means marriage, hypergamy, marrying up. Yeah, there's words, you know, them Greek words like bigamy, right? Bigamy, bi, meaning two. Not that kind of bi. Bigamy, like marrying someone else while you're already married. That's like a legal thing too in America. Like if you're legally married and you go out and legally marry, like not just like, oh, I'm actually married to this one too. Like you go to like another state and get married. That's like illegal. That's pretty darn illegal, I hear. So anyway, so you get it. That's the word, marrying up. Let me just pull up my little thing on this. Let me pull up all my little things. Oh, darn. Let me log. I got to log in. I'm already logged in. Great. You got to love it when you're already logged in. One day Elon Musk will fix that, I'm sure. I don't know what that'll entail. I don't know where we're going to have to put the chips. Privacy may be a thing of the past, but I'm sure Elon Musk will fix that. You know, this whole logging in thing. Where was I? Okay, so where was I here? Let's do this quick. Right, hypergamy, the word, marrying up. You've heard this. This is how it's been used lately, this word, hypergamy. It refers to women, but yeah, it's the act of seeking a partner with greater resources, education, income, and socioeconomic status. And you might sense like a sarcasm because it'll sound solid, but I think if you scrutinize things like socioeconomic status, it sometimes falls apart. Like, what are these people mad about? You start scrutinizing, and you're like, wait a second, are you just talking about looks? What is it you're talking about? That might make sense in a minute. But it refers to women seeking men of a higher status. Okay. I was wondering. Okay, no. Yeah, okay, so you get it. Yeah, you get some of these pictures. You might see these images, the graphs. They'll share them on the internet on X.com, and they'll show you these charts, and essentially it's showing how the women are all choosing the top men, right? And so these men out here, down here, are boring and ugly and left out. This is how it was in 1955, apparently. Women on the same level. Up here, you're the most interesting and good looking. Down here, they're the most boring and ugly. But, you know, boring and ugly people just shacked up with boring and ugly people. No biggie, I guess. Hypergamy. The term refers to social practice where individuals marry or form relationships with partners of a higher social status or social class. The act or practice of seeking a spouse of higher socioeconomic status. Okay. So what's the big problem with it? Okay, I'll tell you that in a sec. Interesting things about this. In terms of tradition, because there was actually a really interesting study that a lot of people pull from, and it goes over. We're talking. Let me get this straight. 2 centuries of data of England, 1837 to 2021. Now, how they gather this data, for those really wanting to scrutinize this, I don't know, but I've seen a lot of people pull from this. But this they call it the England study. And let me just get to it. Large-scale data from England, 1837 to 2021, over 33 million marriages, shows little net female hypergamy when measuring family background. What this found to translate is that the overall trend for those interested, at least looking at England and even otherwise, is that assortative coupling is the overall trend, meaning it is somewhat true, seemingly, that a lot of people married in their same status, whatever that is. If you were rich and wealthy and educated, you were around other rich and wealthy, educated, you married like that. It's just how, and other things. I think people can understand this. But yet, throughout all this England study and other things, there's one thing that remains, and it's the underlying female preference. So the traditions may have changed over time, but the underlying female preference of a woman wanting to marry a man with more money, and education, but more on that in a second, is this preference that's just been it's just been known, it's been studied. It's what Seth Hatfield was interested in and ascertaining and was really mad about too, I gather. So, okay, I was telling you a bit about the tradition, that even though women and men married similarly, it's also been known that there's a hypergamous bend to women and that there's a hypogamous bend to men. This is a known thing. So you're following. And meaning what? That men tend to marry the same or down and women the same or up. Isn't that kind of funny too? It's almost like natural. I don't know. It's almost, there's something natural about it. There's something like natural about it. Like, that's just like a way of describing the space, the empty space between men and women, how they come together. But okay. Some of the tradition, how that's changed lately. This comes in, so this topic becomes interesting because there was a lot of talk, especially well before us, of this female liberation, how to change society somewhat and allow women more freedoms, including the freedom to choose their own husband or divorce the one they have and not be stuck, etc. No fault divorce, etc. and stuff like that. I bring that up because there was a thinking that, well, in most traditional societies, and really going back as far as you can, women marrying up is like a common and often encouraged thing. I mean, men typically controlled a lot of wealth, land, and other things, and so women married for all those reasons. Like stability, like this is a man. He's gonna take care of me. He's the father of my child. You get it. The idea is, well, with women working more. Now remember, we're already in today where this is allowed to gestate a bit and see how it worked out. But this is what people are thinking, like, well, women will, if they get more wealth and their own economic, the freedom and decisions and political freedom, maybe like hypergamy will reverse. But actually, this stayed largely the same, at least according to studies. Okay. The studies, ifstudies.org. Look, they say that women still tend to pair with men who earn more than they do. That's just like the stuff they say, and it seems to fit. I mean, who disagrees with that? Educational, that's actually funny. That's different. As women have been educated across the world. This is a global trend. They call it educational hypogamy or whatever. Educational hypergamy has reversed. Now it's like hypogamous. Like women are educated, largely more educated than men lately, and they're fine with actually marrying marrying down educationally. But when it comes to the money, to the finances, and that might be tied to like whatever socioeconomic status. That's like a robust trend. Okay, so these are some of these basics of this hypergamy thing and what they're talking about. The trends, etc. And so the problem is that there's these men left out. These men are not even seen by women. And as you have this artificially elevated female class, or just women in general, it like skews society. It's got all sorts of problems. I don't even know them all. I personally don't even totally believe, but more on that later. So you're getting it, and he was mad about this. His solutions, at least according to Michael Tracy, was like communism and stuff, but also shooting up people. You see how it like falls apart when you get to the angry, acting on that anger? Yeah, you could write manifestos, look at all these pages, like any academic trying to justify evil. But then it all falls apart. It's like, and that's why we need communism and I need to shoot these people. So anyways. Okay, so that's some of the things on hypergamy now. What did I want to say about it? There's so that's what they say is the problem. I don't agree with his conclusions, his thoughts about men and women, but I don't have it all collected. So let me just try and move on a little faster here. Because I don't really have a side on this. Like, yes, hypergamy is a big thing and it's bad. Because people say, well, that's just how women are. And if you saw some of what I was reporting on, like the underlying trend that's been known for a long, long time, I'd find it wrong to then hate women for that. You can't hate people for just how they are. You know what I mean? You're just hating women for how they are. You can't, that doesn't make sense. Some of the idea is that, well, it's also female selection will be positive, will be eugenic for society, selecting for better genes. And so that's like the people who like say, well, this is fine. It's how women are, and that's good. I wouldn't get mad at I say don't get mad at people for how they are, but let's not call it good. I'm not even convinced on that. There's a bunch of stuff on how women select for lower IQ, but whatever. They may be dysgenic. So the dysgenic meaning selecting for worse genes, actually. So the jury's still out on that one with me. So yeah, I take no side. It's just kind of tell you what he was mad about. Here's one last thing, and then we'll get to calls. Well, one last thing, calls, but then there's like the other side to this, which is incels are evil, man. More on that in a sec. The shooter's definition of hypergamy. I found this pretty interesting. So I'm doing a little bit of reading. And I come across this as well. And I'm glad someone made a screenshot of it. Seth Hatfield allegedly defines hypergamy in his manifesto. And I just found it interesting that in this section, he may have used hypergamy differently in other places, but in this section he says, by hypergamy I do not mean the traditional definition of that word, which pertains to women marrying into wealthy families, but rather I mean something like the opposite of monogamy, or namely a phenomenon in which females simply copulate as they please with a plethora of attractive males, as opposed to monogamy, in which the same females would be bound legalistically and culturally to just one male. Okay, maybe I haven't quite crystallized what was so interesting about it, but it seems this spoke to me in a sense that it told me that he's like, again, kind of mad at like, how do I put this? Like the wrong thing, kind of. Like there's like this hypergamous thing maybe going on, but also what he's describing here is just merely, like just degenerate, like just how do I put it? Like no rules people, like animals, just animals, no rules people. Like, is it really a matter of, I don't know, I have to kill people because women are just a certain way? Or is it like, wow, so all of society has like slid a certain way, you know, and that kind of includes you, you know, that includes everybody. Anyway, just I thought I was thinking about that, his definition of hypergamy. And so what else about this? I want to get to my callers. I appreciate it. Thanks for the patience. 888-775-3773. Now this, I got this less crystallized, but I'll go through it and maybe I'll remember, because I was thinking, man, there's something so wrong about the thinking, though. This is the hypergamy account on X.com. All things hypergamy. Yeah, guys. It's just like pornography. Think about it. This is kind of a funny, something comedic about that, right? Something like, There's something pornographic about this account. Like, oh, pornography is the worst thing happening to men, and there's these Jews, they got them all hooked on this stuff. We got to go shoot them. Actually, this is a pornography account. This is like, how do I, click this, get a certain feeling, right? And I apologize. Bambinos, James Hake, cover your ears. It's masturbatory. Okay? It's like, woe is me. This is, let me scroll down this and, you get it. Okay. So there's something evil about it. I just want to, look, this doesn't even make sense. So this is the hypergamous female, right? I just want a good man, she'll say. And here's the so-called good man with flowers. He says loyal, kind, and stable. And this over here is 6'3", Chad, 6'3", money, status, clout, 100K followers on his, socials. Look at these keys. That's probably like a really expensive. Okay, but guys, hypergamy account, like now you're like losing the plot. Isn't this just an attractive woman? Isn't this just an attractive woman as an attractive guy? And by the way, isn't this shallow? Isn't this shallow? To the guys who are like, well, we're just going to be left out or something. If they're so evil, if these hypergamous women are so evil for dating up, then why don't you date down? Because they're evil, right? They're evil. They're evil they're just like, they don't have love. They're like, I just want 100K followers, blah, blah, blah. I say one thing, want another. Why would you want that? You think you deserve, just think about this a little bit. Why would you want that? And isn't that the assumption? And I don't agree with this assumption. I'm going with your framework here. Then the girls, if you date down, those are good girls. Right? Now, I don't believe such a thing. And anybody who knows anything is laughing with me, along with me. Because those incels are about to learn a lesson. But yeah, man, these guys don't have love. So there's definitely something wrong here. I think I wanted to scroll down this a little bit more. I had another few links and then calls. Thanks for the patience, 888-775-3773. I think I wanted to scroll down this a little bit more because there was one more here. So you get it. These are pretty much the same. What else about it? Yeah, no, I think that's it on that. Incels, they're evil. They made women their god. They pretend to be Christian. I don't know what else. What else about this? I want to get to my calls. What's one more thing is, and like I was saying earlier, I'm like just telling you what they're saying about it. I hold no place. Like, it's like maybe some things are factual, but it falls apart too. And one thing is this whole like women being propped up. Look, I'm just saying, to fix society, just like let things be. That's what I'm saying. Like this artificial propping up, this artificial, you can't discriminate. This goes beyond dating now. Just like stop with the regulations. Stop discriminating on white people, telling them who they can do business with, live around people. I think you could fix it. I think you could fix a lot of things. And this whole propping up of women, well, look, they can't stop being women. They can't stop being women. They still want the guy that's making more money. That's not me saying this guy deserves a woman. This guy deserves the woman he wants. That is me saying, though, if you're playing SimCity, if you're running the levers of SimCity, this old game of society, these things kind of, you might care about this a little bit. Like, wait, because one of the assumptions of society is that people will just continue, it'll just continue growing. That's one of the assumptions of society building, especially in our world. I mean, think about it. I grew up in a time when they always said that we're overpopulated. They will just never stop making babies. Actually, that's a funny assumption. Oops, should have assumed that one. Turns out, people coming together, marrying, and they'll do it. They will do it, but it won't be at the level it is and the life we enjoy today, and the bigness of our society that we enjoy today. It wouldn't be that. It'll return to, and this is just my opinion now, it seems to me like this marriage poly stuff is more of a return to an older thing, a time of necessity, a time of not thinking as far ahead as, I don't know, the people playing SimCity today do. And so, yeah, I bet you when I hear people say, oh, yeah, this poly, you're just going to have to be polyamorous or have multiple marriages because only some men will be wanted or be able to care for many. That's not going to be a fix to society. That'll be the response to a shrinking society. And then people will die. And then it'll just be worse. It'll be like, oh, we went backwards. Anyways, some random thoughts about it. Okay, what else about this? Dysgenic, blah, blah, blah. Amazing. Let's get to the calls. 888-775-3773. I want to get to, let's see. Thanks for the patience y'all been holding here. I want to get to Canada, then Texas, then back to California. That's how we're going to run it. Jermaine, Canada. I appreciate your call, sir. You're on the air. How you doing, sir?
Nice. Man, I was listening to that Hypergamy thing. So pretty much what we're saying, that the females are just evil, right? What the? Human nature.
Yeah, I might agree. Maybe for a different reason. But yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, that wasn't really my conclusion from the hypergamy stuff. You might find me doing a show, a segment one day with that conclusion, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm calling you, man, about... You've probably seen these videos going around of this guy ask them about if this guy is gay.
Okay.
So
I think I know what you're talking about.
He will talk to me and then relax. We'll have a photo, just random photo for another guy. He's like, you think this guy is gay? And then we'll go to the next guy. But I was watching the video. It was so funny because
I love those videos.
The photo that he used to access the guy is gay is pretty funny. So the perception that he paints, I don't know, because I think this is in LA, right? If I'm not wrong, I think it's in LA.
I don't know. It's become a bit of a trend, but I think I caught it when it was going around.
Yeah, and I'm like, he used these photos, so he kind of threw the mind off. And I don't know why they all think maybe he just used the ones that.
Let me explain to the people.
He's gay, right?
It's like a trend. It's like a social media trend. Well, they'll find people on the street, and you'll go up to them, showing them a picture of another individual they just finished interacting with, and they'll show this. It's a guy. I mean, the trend has now gone to different things, but originally it's like they go up to other guys, show them a picture of another guy, and they say, is this guy gay or straight? Like, and then the person will respond. But the funniest thing about it is every guy always says gay. And then when they take the picture of the guy they're talking to, oh, do you think other people will think that about you? They'll think no. They'll always say no. They'll think I'm straight. And inevitably, the next guy they ask, he always says, nah, that guy's gay.
Yeah, so he does a video, right? So he catch the frame where he catches you off doing something really like sus. And then he used that photo. And I'm like...
Oh, you think he's priming them a bit?
Yeah, because I watched the clip, right? But the photo that he used to ask the other person if they're gay, it's kind of a sus photo, right?
Uh-huh.
The guy will be licking his lips or
looking
at the camera, so type, or I have a kind of pose, right?
That is funny.
I'm like, but that still doesn't mean he's gay. Like,
of course.
I don't understand.
But why do you think every guy responds like that? And sometimes the guys will be standing, you know, whatever. They're just trying to stand normal. I get what you're saying. You're saying some of these guys may be getting primed a little, like. But why do you think every guy says that? They're like, no, that guy's gay.
You know, I don't know. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. If it's the photo or the pose or something wrong with these guys, I don't know, man.
I think you're onto something. I think it's a priming thing. When you ask, when just simply asking already gets you primed, and for some reason you go with like, I don't know, I think it's a priming thing. I think you're onto something. Just merely asking, is this guy gay or straight? And then your mind just tells you something. The way they're standing, like maybe guys are like commonly effeminate too, and then and so you're primed, and so in ways that you can't even explain. You know how like language is, it's like body language first. It's like your biology is clocking someone's effeminate, the already like effeminate men of today. You're clocking that before you can even like rationalize why you did it. I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah. You know what you just remind me of now? I have a friend, man, and he likes innocent, feminine-looking women. And I'm like, that's such a throw-off, right? It's such a throw-off because you're just judging from right now. You're just seeing, oh, she looks this way, feminine, docile, innocent. But you really don't know, but you already know that you like her. Yeah, right?
That is not a good, what's the word, criteria. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah,
litmus test. That is not a good litmus test. She looks docile. Those are the worst ones.
Yeah, I know, right?
Those are the like wildest, dirtiest, whatever, all the things.
Yes, it kind of reminds me of that a little bit. I was talking to him today, and he's like, yeah, that's my type. And I'm like, that's the problem. You have a type.
Innocent looking.
But I didn't say, I just said, oh, that's the problem. I just said, that's the problem. I didn't say it's because you have a type. I just said that. But he's onto another trend now. That guy that does those videos, he's onto one that says, you go up to the woman now. He's onto the woman now.
Okay.
You go up to them, and he's like, do you think this girl can steal your boyfriend? You're like, nah. She's not his type. He's into black women, white women, fat women, skinny women, a bunch of different examples, right? But then he will ask the girl, do you think you can steal any guy's man? You're like, yeah, of course.
Really?
Not that I want to, though, but I can. And I'm like, wow, that's so funny.
Men and women are different, sir. What can I tell you?
Yeah, they believe they can just
welcome to the world.
Whichever man they want, but not the other women around. I'm like, interesting. Whatever. But I just find it to be a different pace for the show. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's another like the other side to the coin. I like it. I'm gonna check it out. I'm about to show the people the first one and inform them.
Yeah.
And get them up to speed on the first side of it, and then maybe I'll find that other thing you're talking about. Sounds interesting, Jermaine. Thanks.
All right, Nick. We'll chat again, man. Have a good show.
Call me again, sir.
Will do. Bye.
888-775-3773. Texas, we're going to you next. I appreciate the patience. This is the trend he's talking about. Okay, I have to show you guys. Is this guy gay or straight? He'll ask them. So let's watch.
Gay or straight? Gay. Do you think this guy is gay or straight?
Legit, who's gay?
Do you think this guy is gay or straight?
Wait, they're ruining it. No, and then he's supposed to ask the person who just said it, do you think others will think that about you? Hold on.
Are you gay or straight?
Are you gay or straight? Here we go.
I am gay.
Do you think other people would think that?
Of course.
This is an outlier. That's an outlier.
Do you think this guy is gay or straight?
Gay.
Gay? What makes you say that?
He just has a gay persona.
Are you gay or straight?
He's right on that one.
Do you think other
he
people
just
would
happens
think
to be
that?
right.
I would say they think I'm straight.
Do you think this guy is gay or straight?
Gay.
Gay.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. He looks too happy.
Wait, he can't look happy?
No. Well, no, I don't know. Be honest with you, it would be just a guess. I would say 55,
Right on.
45. It's close.
He's like, the white man is the only one that responded like that.
Now, are you gay or straight?
I've just seen a bunch of these.
I'm straight.
Do you think other people would think that?
I have no idea. But the good thing about me is I don't care.
Nice.
Gay.
Gay?
Yeah, it's gay.
What makes you say that?
This. Because the
short?
sun.
Oh, the sun?
Yeah, I think.
Are you
Okay,
gay or
chat.
straight?
So,
Me?
Yeah.
chat, add that to the list of being gay, I guess. I don't know, being tanned or something.
No.
What? Are
No gay.
Oh, no gay?
No.
Do you think other people would think that?
No, I'm no gay.
Do you think this guy is gay or straight?
Shit, I hope he's gay, but he looked pretty straight to me. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Wait, what? That was a curveball, chat.
What makes you say that?
I can't put my finger on it. I would, but I can't. You know.
Wait, why do you hope
This was a curveball.
that he's gay? I'm confused.
You see my boy over here? If you want to pan the camera.
So, okay, you get it, all right? You get it. Enough on that guy. All right. Do you think other people would think that? Chat, do you think other people would think that? Okay. Hey, yo. Let's get to Jamie. I appreciate it. First time call out of Texas, man. Thanks for your call, Jamie. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Jamie?
I was hoping to get a perspective or advice on separation, divorce, and how to do the kids.
Is that going on with you?
Yes.
And you're... When did this already happened? Is this already happening, or is this something that's you may be happening? You think might happen?
I've moved out, and my husband wants the kids for the next 6 days.
So this is recent.
He's never taken the 15-month-old for 6 days straight, and I think he's just being vicious by wanting to take the baby for 6 days. And it's just been really hard splitting the time with the kids. And obviously we have different ideas of what's fair or appropriate for the kids.
Mm-hmm. And so you've moved out. Divorce might be coming. So I don't understand that part. Why is he... Is it because you guys are separate right now that he's saying, well, someone's got to have the baby, and so he said, I'm taking it for 6 days? Is that what you're saying? Help me understand that part. Sorry. Like, there's got to be a reason for that besides you thinking it's unfair.
I mean, I think a 15-month-old, it's too young to leave mom for 6 days when she hasn't been away from me for more than like 4 hours at a time.
Okay.
Honestly, my husband doesn't. He loves my son. Like
So you both of you have a son together?
Yes.
Okay. You were saying?
We have a son, and my son is almost 4, and then my daughter is a 15-month-old. So
And you
I
were
guess
saying?
am I overreacting by not letting him take the baby for 6 straight days?
That's the part I wanted to get straight before I really said anything about it. I mean, because you're saying that it just seems unfair. She's too young to be apart from the mother. But is there a reason besides that why he's decided to have the baby for 6 days? Like, what was?
Is there a reason why he wants the baby for 6 days?
Yeah, is it because you guys are simply apart, or?
Yeah, I've moved out.
Right, so you're moved out.
And
what would be the reason for you to have
the
the baby for 6 days and not him?
Babies are different. I think they need their mother more. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of science behind that. But, I mean, it's like attachment stuff. And I just think that would be really cruel to take a baby away from its mother for that long a time when the baby literally knows no.
Is he like going away somewhere for 6 days?
No, he just thinks it's fair to split the time with the kids.
Oh, that's what it is. It's a time splitting thing. So you're gonna get the baby another time.
Yes.
Okay, that's starting to make a little bit more sense. So it's not that he's keeping the baby from you indefinitely. It's just this time splitting is starting to form. Is that a fair description?
We're just trying to figure it out.
Totally. And that's a mess sometimes. Is this like a court thing?
No, not yet.
Okay. And when you say not yet, you mean you have plans for it to be a court thing?
If I need to, I will.
What does that mean?
He plays games. He manipulates. I am never going to say that 50-50 is appropriate for young children. The last time he had my son, he basically said, he basically was like, no, I'm keeping Jacob and you can go do your own thing. And
I'm following. Go ahead, my bad.
I don't know how to describe him. My husband,
Yeah, manipulative, you said so far.
Yeah. So I just don't trust him. And if he's going to use the children against me, I'm going to end up having to do at least a legal separation where they define parameters for the child care.
I'm following so far, yeah. So the only reason you might do such a thing is because of his manipulative ways, etc. Now, when you say that, in what way is he trying to manipulate? Because it sounded like you were saying that you are splitting the time, and so some sort of agreement was there, which is already a little bit different from what you were saying earlier, which is he's trying to keep. Were you saying that? My apologies. Were you saying that he's trying to keep him from you? Because it sounds like this is an agreement.
Yes,
it may be a little bit messy in the interim, but it sounds like this is all plans for an agreement of splitting time. That doesn't sound like an irrational. Doesn't sound like a person. Maybe he's irrational sometimes. I'm not saying he's perfect, but so far it doesn't sound like an irrational, manipulative person you can't work with. Or is he trying to keep the kids from you and all that? Like, what is it that you're trying to say?
He just flat out wants the children 50% of the time.
Okay, so he's not.
And
keeping
I
it from
really
you.
don't think. That's what he wants. That's not what we have been doing.
Okay.
What we have been doing is kind of a 2 days on, 2 days off. And when it was supposed to be my turn to take the kids for the 2 days, he kind of just said, "Oh, I'm leaving. I'm going to my parents' house." So, which was not the routine that we had been doing.
Right.
What
was his reason for that?
He just thinks it's fair for him to have the kids, or at least at this point, it was only my older son. He just thinks it's fair to be 50-50.
That doesn't quite answer my question though, because you're saying we had this 2 days on, 2 days off thing. He decided for these 6 days to do something and take the kids and do this. And I'm wondering what his reason was. And you're saying, well, his reason is because he wants it to be 50-50. That's not quite an answer that I'm looking for. Do you understand what I'm going at? Because it's like, is his reason, hey, Jamie, I'm taking it for 6 days because I'm going to see my parents? Or is it, you know what, I just want you seeing them less? Like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you saying?
He's saying that he wants more time with the kids.
And for you to have less.
Yeah.
He's saying that? He's saying, I want you, I don't want you to see the kids and they should be with me?
He's not saying that. He's just saying that he wants more time with the kids.
And is that wrong? Like, is this merely logistical? And yeah, you're saying I had the 2 days on, 2 days off, but you know what? Why can't I be flexible? They want 6 days and they're going off on a trip or who knows what. Is it like that? Or and maybe you're thinking it's this other stuff, or are you sure? Are you sure he's he wants them more and you less? Because that's the answer to that would answer your question if you're overreacting.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous that he wants. I mean, okay, if we want to talk about the 4-year-old, that's one thing. For him to expect this from a 15-month-old baby who has not spent more than 4 hours from its mother that is ridiculous. He can't handle those two kids first. He could handle those two kids. That is cruel. That's cruel to do that to a baby.
Why?
And I think he is doing that to punish me. But
why is that cruel to the baby?
Because
why is it cruel to the baby to be with this father, with her father?
it's not cruel for the baby to be with the father. It's cruel for the baby to be away from the mother, the primary caretaker.
But the parents don't get along. How can the baby do anything about that?
I'm not sure.
So
I'm
see,
not
that's
sure what you're saying.
I'm saying that there's an impasse there that the baby is at no fault at. But it's a reality. The parents don't get along. So, you're saying that it's a cruelty inflicted on by the father to keep it from the mother, but isn't it an equal cruelty that you inflicted on the baby too because you're not getting along with the father? It's a problem between the parents is what I'm saying there. And unless that's fixed, you're not fixing that. And I'm not telling you to go fix it. I'm just saying, spilt milk is spilt milk. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's not really the cruelty of the father. But yeah, again, why is it cruel for the baby so you already said it's cruel to be away from the mother. I don't quite agree. Is the baby like breastfeeding or something?
Yeah.
So here's what I think we already answered this, but again, the father is not keeping the baby from you.
He is, because he says,
like after 6 days, you'll see the kids again.
Okay. Yes. If you want to put it that way, I will see the kids.
Am I putting it that way, or is that how it is in reality?
Well, that is the reality.
Right.
He is keeping the kids from me for those 6 days.
So when you have the kids for 2 days or whatever, are you keeping the kids from him?
Yes.
Should he be mad at you for that?
He is very mad at me for that. I make a point to spend time.
Are you wrong for keeping the kids from him for those days that are allotted to you? I wouldn't call it keeping it, but that's what you're calling it.
I do make an effort to spend time with him throughout. I mean, he doesn't not see the kids for the 6 straight days. He sees them in between.
That's irrelevant. It's besides the point.
Well, I just
what
think
he does in those days, what he does. But from what you've told me so far, you might be overreacting to this particular thing. I don't know all the details. I don't know exactly what's going on, and I'm also not like a counselor. If you want some deep counseling, you're familiar with Lee Peterson? Is that the baby?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Is that the baby making a cameo? That's a daughter, right? Little baby girl?
Mm-hmm.
Making a cameo for the chat. Very noisy.
Okay, sorry about that.
I'm messing with you. Okay, so, I appreciate you telling me the details and having some patience here and all that. But what do you think about that? I mean, so far it sounds like you've gone ahead. You've gone kind of far ahead in your head, and how he's going to keep him from you and manipulative. He may be a lot of those things, but the facts remain, so far from what you told me, that he's not keeping the kids. He's still like, you may not like this person, you may detest him, but he's still a person you can make plans and allot the time. Okay, I'll get 2. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do 6. So far from what you're telling me. So your response doesn't seem rational. Is he not that person? Am I getting it wrong? Is he actually like, what am I getting wrong here?
He's not a healthy person.
But isn't it true that you could still rationalize, he's not like keeping the kids, right? You could still say, hey, you know what? I want this. Is this okay? Let's meet in the middle. So far, you may not like this person,
he doesn't meet in the middle. He doesn't meet in the middle. He does not compromise.
Are you seeing the kids after 6 days? You may not like it, but are you seeing the kids after 6 days? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's a man. There's a compromise.
Okay.
Again, there's a lot I don't see. There's a lot I'm not seeing here, but you know, the call starts off with like, well, this person I can't compromise. I can't work with, and is a danger and is evilly keeping kids from me. But it seems like that doesn't fit the facts, right? So it's not time. He may be many things that I don't know, but that's the fact is that you can't overreact and go beyond something here. Don't you agree?
I disagree with you that it's healthy for children to be away from their mother for that extended period of time. So I really just, we're just at a disagreement for that. There's an age appropriateness that children should be separated from their mother.
Is it when if the baby was with, didn't you say the baby's away for 6 days? Isn't it with you right now?
It's okay. I think that there's just too much going on to explain in a phone call.
I'm not trying to get you. I'm not trying to do anything like that. But that just came up. I did just think of that. Is this the baby in question?
Yes.
I thought you said you were away from her and she's away and it's gonna be like it's gonna be.
Oh, he wants to take the kid.
You're with the baby right now.
Yes, but he wants to take them on his days off tomorrow. And I am trying to tell him no because I do not think it should.
Sorry, Bob, you were saying? Here, let me ask you this. If the baby was with you for 6 days, is you were saying it's just, I don't believe the baby should be away from the mother. It's unhealthy. Is it unhealthy for the daughter to be, if she was with you for 6 days, would it be unhealthy, that separation from the father?
I think they have a very different relationship between the mother and the baby and the father and the baby. It's two very different relationships.
Right, but so is the relationship between you two. So you guys going to have to work around that. And it sounds like you don't like it and he probably doesn't like you or whatever, but he sounds like the channel's not totally closed. You're working something out here. And it sounds like he's going to this mother's or something like that and, wants the kids for 6 days. You don't like it, but there's no reason to overreact to it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And why are you so sad? Why are you sounding so sad like you're crying?
I don't know.
Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard when she's crying, she's lying? Have you ever heard such a thing?
It's a very painful situation to be in.
I can understand that. But you're kind of making up some of the pain, from what I could tell. I don't know everything that's going on with you. I'm not pretending to be.
I'm not very good at portraying. Apparently, I'm not very good at relating the details.
Because the baby's not in pain. Think about it. You're saying it's so unhealthy. 6 days, you can't be apart. Is the baby like in pain or something? The baby's just with the dad for 6 days, then back with you, and then so all that pain and problem was only in your head.
I think
the baby's fine for those 6 days.
Children.
The baby's fine for those 6 days, yes or no?
Fine is a very vague.
The baby is fine for those 6 days, yes or no? Come on. You know the answer.
It's fine is the bare minimum.
No, it's not bare minimum. You're making that up.
Okay.
And by the way, and remember,
I have to go.
I understand. Hey, Jamie, I appreciate your call. Are you familiar with Jesse Lee Peterson? He's on 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time, 888-775-3773. He'd be happy to take your call on this. He also does private counseling, rebuildingtheman.com/ counseling. But I appreciate your call, Jamie. I wish you well. Her question was just simply if she was overreacting to the this child situation, and that's really all I was responding to. And call me again. So, anyways, the baby wasn't that the baby? Am I tripping, or did I miss something there? I think that was the baby. I think that's the baby. I'm so sad I could be part. You have the baby. All right, folks. I appreciate your calls. I want to keep it running here. You guys have been very patient. I want to get to William, number 3, out of California. Thanks for your call, William. You're on the air. William the 3rd, out of California, wants to comment on the Juneteenth shooting. We'll get back to William. Maybe he's away from his phone. Briefly, I want to get to Tom out of New York, who's been waiting patiently, man. I appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
What's up, Tom? All is well.
Not much. Hey, I was just listening to the show on my way home. I heard you talking about hypergamy.
Yeah.
So it prompted me to give a call, but I was just curious. In a nutshell, what was your kind of commentary, or position on hypergamy, quote unquote?
I appreciate you asking, because I didn't really quite have like a side or a take on hypergamy and how true or important it is or not. If I may sit on the fence a little, because there's like definitely factual things, but there's just something wrong about the description of it all. Like, for example, one thing off the top. Yeah, I think that's like on a mere conceptual basis. Yeah, that women have a preference but getting mad at the mere description of something is not enough for me. So women date up. They date the same or up, and men date the same or down. All right, so, you described reality. Am I supposed to get mad about it? Okay, so that's like one thing that throws me off, and like,
yeah.
But I don't throw them away either, because then the women will come out and they'll say, this is just how women are, and so let us just choose, and let us be the gatekeepers, and this will just make society more eugenic, and we'll just obviously just pick the best men. Like, what are you mad about? But actually, right. I don't know if that's true. Women are seemingly dysgenic, at least according to some things I've seen. So, that's how I feel about it. What can I say? I'm sitting on the fence. But these guys are definitely mad about it, if I may, a little bit more. Like the incel shooter or whatever they're writing about, they definitely have concluded something crazy. And they leave out how, these incels are evil themselves, and so blah, blah, blah. And then one final thing on that is also... I can't remember. You were saying?
No, I just wanted to say. So I'm glad you brought it up, because I hear all the time these. I would say part of it is the whole anti-feminist manosphere kind of circles. You hear this talk about hypergamy all the time, where some influencer will be out. And the girl will leave her boyfriend to go with the influencer or something like that, and they kind of just say, oh, well, this is just biologically how they are. And that's basically the conclusion they draw, is that it's kind of like a biological thing.
Okay.
And so I always thought, no, it's not. I always thought, and I just want to share my thought and see what you had any feedback.
A little bit, yeah. Sorry, go on, though.
Yeah, I would say it has nothing to do with biology. And as a matter of fact, I don't think it has anything to do with the guy that they're going to, who's a higher status or a higher whatever. I think it has everything to do with their hatred for the person they are currently with. Meaning, if they didn't have that hate in their heart, they would not be, kind of treating somebody that way. And so, like, in a sense, it's almost worse than they say it is, but also at the same time, I don't know, it makes more sense. What do you think?
You might be onto something in that I think what's going on is you have partly something natural happening. And by the way, a lot of those things are exaggerated online. Oh, this guy, girl leaves guy right in front of me at the club, clavicular. Like, a lot of those things are fake and exaggerated, but they are talking about something real. And that is like this natural underlying preference. It's like, but it makes sense. It's like, men, the weak, it's in the Bible. Women are the weaker vessel. It's almost like, they're always dating up, always. Yeah. And that's just how it is.
Yes.
And that's fine. And so what am I getting at with that too is that, so what I think is going on is that you got that natural thing going on, and then you also have just the lack of, and I'm going to just use this for conversation, but like this lack of morals going on where it's like, okay, yeah, sure, women have an underlying preference to date up, so to speak, right? But once you're married and once you've made some decisions, that doesn't suddenly you still have to be like a good person. You become quite a crappy person if you say, well, I'm sorry, husband, I'm a hypergamous woman and I want this better guy. You know what I mean? Like, you married someone. So where's your morality? So like, I think it's like you got these two things happening, and you still have to follow the rules, ladies, and that goes for anybody, right? It's like, hello, I thought the rules mattered. That makes you a good person. Again, I'm using these words to communicate with. And so I think that's what's happening. It's just like, sure, there's a natural thing, and people are mad about the natural thing, but no. There are rules that we're supposed to follow, and you don't want to follow them. That's really that's really your crime, so to speak, in this society.
Yeah, I am convinced, and I could be wrong, but I am convinced that it has less to do with, quote unquote, this preference phenomenon, and more to do with the fact that it's crushing to the weak men that it's being done to. And that if that same individual, for example, wasn't moved or wasn't crushed by this girl leaving him, that she would not. That's kind of where my mind went with it. But yeah, I always found it an interesting topic, and I relate in that I'm like, something is off with this whole conversation. But anyway, that's what I call
you're
it.
onto something with that one too, and I've thought something too. So even if I can't quite put my finger on it, I know I'm directionally right with this. In that, when I heard Jesse, I don't know how else to put it, but I've heard I heard red pill, whatever. I don't put Jesse there. And when I hear all this discourse, there may be facts.
Not at all.
But there's something wrong about it. And then I think about when Jesse talks about women and et cetera. And I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't put Jesse in that category. And I think it's got to do something with love, if I may. But anyways.
Yeah, I agree. And I think what's wrong with it is when you say biological, that's like a similar argument to like, I don't know, homosexuality. They say, oh, it's biological or whatever, or certain things. You're kind of taking the morality out of it by calling it biological. And so I think that is the kind of flaw in it, that they're saying, oh, well, it's not right or wrong, it's just how they are. And I mean, maybe they're saying it's wrong, but you're kind of eliminating that by calling it part of the biological nature. Because anyway, but I think it has more to do with.
But are you saying then that women should repent from wanting from that, and then if they were right with God, that they would not be that? What is it that you're saying?
No. Yeah, if they didn't have the hate in their heart, that they would not. Those preferences wouldn't be so prominent, or it wouldn't be as much of a phenomenon going on. That it has more to do with their hate in their heart, period, towards men and themselves, and that but then it actually has to do with biological preferences.
Maybe.
And
I just think what you just said, that hate in their heart is just what makes following rules, having a marriage, something lasting long, going past temptation, all these things. It makes that hard. But I don't think women should repent from, I don't know, being hypergamous. Like, should men repent from, you know, I don't know. I think this marriage stuff is not even with God anyway, so whatever.
No, I'm not saying repent from I'm saying the hypergamous. I'm saying that doesn't even make sense to the hypergamous. I'm saying it's the hate in the heart that drives all these things.
Maybe. It drives a lot of things, for sure. Sir, anything else you want to say here before we move the wheels, Tom?
No, that's it. Just want to chime in. Hope all is well, and thanks for taking my call.
Big time, man. Call me again.
All right, take care.
888-775-3773. Amazing. What do we got now? I want to get to more calls. You guys are just holding patiently, and I appreciate it. 888-775-3773. We'll get to super chats and other things here in a moment. But since y'all been waiting, I won't keep y'all waiting. I think this is Al out of Arkansas. How you doing, Al? I appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, Nick, how's it going, man?
All's well, man.
I wanted to touch on the young lady that called, but the gentleman that just hung up, I wanted to touch on what he said. But with the young lady, you can just tell by her conversation, it was very weak, and you could tell that it was a matter of control, and the fact that the father had a good relationship with the children and he wanted to be in their lives. She just felt that she had no control of the situation and she couldn't leverage the children against him. This is why she kept saying the children should be with the mother. Well, the mother doesn't have a monopoly on the children. You have a lot of women who believe that, oh, I'm the mother, then I should have all the say, and you're the father, just give me your money and be quiet. And that type of dynamic is too prevalent here in this country. Fathers matter. Fathers should have time with their children. They should have say-so in what happens with the children. And you could tell that it was her spirit. It was just very, very bad. And she had no reason for him not spending time with the children. Had no excuse to say why it was bad. And the fact that he wanted to spend time, I think that's a good thing. Because you don't have a lot of fathers that don't spend time with their children. So you're in catch-22. If you're a good father, you're bad. If you're a bad father, you're even worse. So I commend the guy for spending time, and to heck with her, and she's going to have to suffer in her hell for trying to be evil and having hateful thoughts about that father. But as far as the gentleman that just hung up, in the animal kingdom,
I can't be sure of all that, and I was trying to ascertain, and it's interesting how, though, every question peeled back, and I'm like, this is not a good reason to have the baby with you and not him. These are not good reasons to overreact. I totally agree with all that. I don't know about all those things. I just had to say that, sir. But and call it maybe lack of experience too. But it was fascinating. Please go on.
Yes, but as far as the gentleman that hung up, as far as women are naturally hypergamous. You know, a woman may marry a lower status guy, but trust me, she watches television. She understands in society, she wants a better life. So she's always going to say, wow, I wish I could have married a man that could give me a better life. She's always going to want to be hypergamous. And if she has the opportunity, she will practice hypergamy. And the thing is, men are different today than they were back then. In the old times, men had to have skills. They had to have tools. They had to have the ability to build a farm, build their home, take care of their family and their brand. Today, men are weak, and you have these men who basically want to sit in their mother's basement, eat Cheetos, get fat, and play video games. And so now you have women who are saying, well, I don't want that guy. I want a guy that's able to defend me, provide for me, and take care of me. And just like in the animal kingdom, the males fight, and the most strongest of the males get to mate. And it's the same with society. If you are a man that put effort into gaining wealth, working on your body, working on having some charisma to talk to a woman, being able to talk on different subjects and be insightful and have some knowledge of the world, you're going to get the women. If you're a guy that talks about video games and eating on Cheetos and hanging out with your buddies, you're not going to get the women. So those are the guys that are incels that are sitting back going, man, why do those guys always get the girls? Well, you don't take time to go out to find what the women want. You're not putting in the effort to get those women. So when you find a guy who gets a lot of money, who is an incel, the first thing he does is go out and get some new clothes. He goes out and gets a nice car because he understands those are the things that attract women. He still may not be able to talk to women, maybe like a Jeff Bezos. Yeah, he has money. He has the house. He has the cars. He has the yacht. But I don't think that guy could go out there and actually talk to a woman. He settled for the woman he has, but there are a lot of other women that are better looking that he could have gotten. But I don't think those guys are able to go out and totally, charm a woman. Most guys say, hey, look at what I have. And the women get with them, and they say, well, this guy is all about money. And they sometimes start to cheat on those guys, or they leave those guys, even though they have the money. You have to be able to keep that woman, with either being able to give her spiritual and moral support. The money is good, but the money isn't always the end-all, be-all. You have to be able to have the ability to talk to those women and also, keep them, keep them intrigued with you. You have to be someone that keeps them on their toes, and not all men can do that. So that's why 20% of the men are mating with 80% of the women, because only a certain type of man can pull a woman and also maintain her.
I'm not sure. Some of that, I feel like you got to have some assumptions. For me, maybe there's not assumptions for you, but on some of that, I think you have to have some assumptions. But I think in general, yeah, if you're... people are quite unattractive in their... In like starting from the inside, deep inside, right? And it goes outwards, and they're not doing themselves any favors for sure. And I noticed them with these same complaints. And it's not all, but I mean, I see that a lot. I see what you're saying a lot. Like, okay, I hear the complaints and I see the guy and I'm like, well, this person's not really doing themselves any favors in a lot of areas.
Okay.
So,
okay,
yeah.
I can go with you. Well, let's say it like this. Okay, you can have a guy who may not be attractive, but you know what? He's an athlete. There was a guy that played at Colorado, not a very attractive guy at all, but he got a big contract, and his girlfriend was all over him. She was a nice-looking young lady, but she was a stripper. As soon as he got that money and he married her, she wanted a divorce because she wanted half of his money. That money, even though you're not attractive, the ability to have access draws women. If you don't have the money or the charisma, you may have a guy, it's like growing up in L.A. If you were a gangbanger, the women liked you. Why? Because they thought you were the bad boy. That attracted women. If you were a nerd, you weren't getting women. You have to have something that attracts women, whether it's the bravado, the money, the look. Those things matter. And if you got all three, you're going to get all the women. And if you can go out with a guy, he may be broke, but he has a gift of gab. He's able to talk to a woman and pull her. Some guys don't have all three. Some guys maybe have one. He can talk to her, but can he maintain her? His lifestyle says no. He may have the lifestyle, but his ability to talk to the woman says no. You may have one. You may be able to attract her, but if you don't have enough of the skills to keep her, she's going to leave you.
Don't marry a stripper.
Well, I wouldn't. Well, that guy married the stripper, but I'm saying guys in general.
The overwhelming trend, and I understand that in the modern world, it's totally fresh, and with more money and education and all the rules have changed. Yes, women are like hypergamous more than ever, but it's still this trend has to fight with the immense inertia of the following trend, which is people just stay with who they are and around the level and the education and money of what do they call assortative and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it used to be that way. Like I said before, it has evolved because back in the day, All a guy had to do was say, hey, you know what? I have a property. I need children. I need a woman. I'm capable. I can build my own house. I can till my own land. I can raise my own livestock. And I need a woman with me. And the woman says, wow, he wants to take care of me. He has the ability to do so. And that was fine. But today, you have the internet. You have people like Drake and celebrities in the DMs of women online, in Instagram, saying, ooh, I think you're beautiful. I'll fly you out. You know, these are women from the Midwest in country towns who are on the internet who now have access to men with money. They don't have to approach those men. Those men are approaching them. So the guy next door doesn't have a chance to talk to her. The kid down the street doesn't have a chance to talk to her because the guy with money is saying, I think you're beautiful. I want to spend time with you. So even if he doesn't marry her, the fact that he even gave her time builds her up so much that now the average guy is no longer attractive to her. She wants another guy with status. She wants more guys with status, even though she doesn't fit what he wants. She now thinks she deserves that type of man. This is why you have all these women online shaking their backsides, clad in bikinis and carrying on. Women didn't act like that before. Women were pious. They were like, hey, I don't want to put myself out there. I have pride. I have respect for myself. Those days are gone. Women are saying, look at my body, DM me, fly me out, send me money. Look at my OnlyFans. You got average, basic-looking women now on OnlyFans making millions of dollars. The day of the average woman is gone.
A lot of these women are going on OnlyFans and making nothing, and realizing, wow, holy crap, they're like posted 7 days a week, and it's like they're making like minimum wage.
This is absolutely true.
So that's the type of a lot of women.
This is absolutely true, but the allure that you have some women that make millions, and they're saying, I can do it too.
I totally get what you're saying.
Once they get out there, they ruin their reputations.
So I think one thing, we may quibble on minutia, but I think one thing, a big thing that I think many can agree on or might want to debate, but I think might have trouble debating is the inflated ego of the women.
Yes.
And because again, we could quibble on minutia, but I think on this bigger one, I think I can agree on this. There's an inflated ego. There's also an inflated status of women, propped up by literal taxes and policy. And I don't know and that skewing is not good for this like natural polarity of men and women. I think we can agree on that. What do you think is how widespread do you think that is? And what's the solution?
I think it's gotten worse because now you have the incels that are out there on Instagram and OnlyFans. They're telling these women, they're giving them all their money. If men had some self-respect, said, you're showing your body, I'm not going to send you anything. I'm not going to pay you to be out there disgracing yourself, and turned off all of that, then women will be saying, wow, I disgraced myself for nothing. But these guys are out there fiending for these women. They're out there, in their DM saying, oh, you're so beautiful. I wish I had a woman like you. So these guys pretty much create their own demise with their fiending for women online. If they were to just get offline and men were to stop going to strip clubs, stop buying porn, stop buying OnlyFans, the women would say, hey, you know what? This isn't worth it. And the guys aren't wanting to buy this, so I'm not going to do it. Let me just get myself a regular guy who's nice, that wants to take care of me, who has a basic job, and I'll be happy with a family. But now these women have such inflated egos, they think they deserve the best of everything, and they have no qualities to be a wife or a mother.
I think this is where my, how do I put this? I wish there was, I wonder if there's even a word for such a phenomenon, but I seem to encounter it often. And it's like, in what you just said, I feel like you almost reconstructed something that's been around for a long time from first principles, almost by accident. And follow me for a second. Because what I'm saying is, you just said, you just described men and like, look at them, spending money on these products, like inflating their egos, not doing the right thing, to summarize, not doing the right thing. Well, buddy, did you just get up yesterday? You know what I mean? This is what I want to say to myself. Oh, wow. Men and women not doing the right thing. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Like being prostitutes, wanting their ego inflated. Wow. It's like, did we just wake up yesterday?
Yeah, but now it's on
that's
nitrous.
That's okay. That may be like a fair thing to even discuss, but maybe I'm bringing up something else. Apologies, but consider this for a moment. It's like, yeah, this is what evil people do.
Yes. And they're preying on each other. They're preying on each other. The women are preying on the incels. The incels are trying to prey on the women, but they're losing. And they're constantly feeding the egos of the women that they're trying to get. And the women are like, well, I have all these men after me. I can have my pick of the litter. And it's not the guys that are incels. They want the better men. So they're basically working themselves out of.
But is
your
your advice for women like a strategic one of like, girls, you're not going to get the better man because you're aiming too high. Here's how you get the better man. Or are you saying you're wrong for wanting the better man?
No, I'm never going to condemn a woman for wanting a better man. I think all men should strive to be better. But I think the women who are basic with no skills to be a wife or a mother, you're not bringing anything to that man. You're seeking his resources, but you're not offering anything. So basically, those men are just going to use you. You're just going to be for recreational use only, and those women end up heartbroken because they think, I deserve it. You may get a meeting with that man. Basically, he's just going to have sex with you, and then he's going to dump you. And these women end up broken when they
where's the advice from like women, other women, or the culture? Yeah, where's the advice on the young women? Because it's like, man, these incels and red pill ideology, what do these guys talk about online? Hey, ladies, what do you talk about online? Someone should have told you years ago, no, this is the type of guy, this is what rejection looks like, ladies. He's not, he's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's a situationship and he loves me, but he doesn't. Ladies, that's what rejection looks like, etc.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where's the love for the women?
I know you guys talked about red pill, and in the red pill community, Jesse is the father of red pill. He doesn't acknowledge it.
Right.
He doesn't recognize it, but he is the father
because his
of red
children
pill.
are crazy. He's like, I tried telling him, but go on, my bad. You're onto something, sir.
Yes, because when he talks about, stop worrying about the women, focus on yourself, be the better you. And that's basically what Red Pill is saying. It's saying, stop chasing these women. They're lost. Be the better man so you can actually pick the woman you want. And you can basically say, hey, you know what? Instead of being desperate and being an incel, you're saying, no, I've worked on me, and I deserve a woman that's going to be a wife, who's going to be a mother, who I can say, you can stay at home and I'll take care of you, but you better have the qualities I need. And a lot of women aren't qualified, and they don't fit the requirements to have a high-value man. These women are for recreational use only, and they will be deemed as such. And they will end up just by themselves with a dog or a cat, and they'll live like Oprah. They won't have the money, but they'll live like Oprah by themselves.
You know what? I may even like some of that if that's what they're really thinking, and I just wish they'd take it even further, take it all the way, almost like, you know what? There is, because in my opinion, there is sort of an answer and to this Hypergamy and all these guys and to the Seth Hatfields, etc. It's something. I think it's something in the direction of you have to actually overcome women being your god. And so what does that look like? I think it looks like, well, because consider what these people talking about hypergamy, etc. If you keep listening to them, somewhere along the way they tell you, and this is all still to get a woman, and this is how you will end up having the wife you want and finding love. Like, no, let that go completely. You're wrong for that totally. And just work on yourself for the actual sake of working on yourself. Like, you think God's not going to be able to tell what you're really seeking him for? And then whatever may be, let it be. Then that'll truly be God's will. Should the birth rates go down, God? I don't know. Should we shrink? I don't know. It's up to you, God. I'm just going to work on myself for real. And it's not about a woman.
Yes. But a lot of these incels are getting into red pill because they're thinking, hey, if I work on my body and I bulk up a little bit, hey, you know what? I get one of these dating coaches to help me talk to women. Hey, if I get enough money, to live a lifestyle, and hang out with, other guys who have money, the women will be attracted to that. And, some of them are really out there doing it. And I think once they get to the point where they have the money, they have the charm, and they have the charisma and the lifestyle that they want, I think they'll wake up and say, you know what, I really don't need, these type of women around me. They become more picky, and they say, you know what, I want a regular woman. And this is why they say men will date down. He'll see some woman at McDonald's, and say, hey, you know what? She's not on OnlyFans. She's not out here online on Instagram. She's just a regular girl. I think I'm attracted to her, and I will take her over this woman who's out here seeking all the glitz and glory, and chasing after different men. I want a regular girl. And sometimes you can find that. I think it's rare, but I think you can find it.
Fair enough, sir.
It's hard to find a woman who isn't online.
I guess so, right?
Yeah.
It's like a generational thing too.
Yes.
You'll have to give up your. Would you give up your Instagram for me? Anyways, I had one more thing I wanted to ask you. I think, but then I think we got to move the wheels. But it's
okay.
I can't remember, sir. I appreciate the call, though. I appreciate the things you brought up, man. Anything else you want to speak on?
It was great talking to you, Nick.
Yeah, man. Anything else you want to speak on before we move the wheels?
No, sir. It was my pleasure speaking with you, though.
Can you call me again?
Of course.
Take it easy, Al. Appreciate it.
All right. Take it easy. Bye.
888-775-3773. We've just been rocking calls, and William, who's been holding patiently, he may be ready now. We're going to get to you in a moment. I want to get to these super chats. Much appreciated. Big super chats. And we're going to get through them. Big super chats. Hold on. I'm yelling all of a sudden. Barbecue Pringle. Did I read this one? I'm going to read it anyways in case I didn't. Barbecue Pringle with a coffee, man. Thank you. Or woman. No, it's true. I could have started a family many times, but a Western woman is just a community toilet online and families aren't loyal. You need more info, Barbecue Pringle. I mean, you can't ascertain such a thing. How do you know that? But a Western woman is just a community toilet. That's a comment born out of, it doesn't matter, Barbecue Pringle. Eric with the coffees, buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby, says 99% of the world is unconscious. So whatever they believe is their reality. 99% of men believe they need a woman, so they're emotionally dependent upon women. Men today are struggling with the overly hypergamous, and he puts in parentheses, selfish nature of a woman. Blaming porn is misdirected anger. True, he's saying, to such a statement. But the sentiment of his aggression is addressing a true societal dysfunction. The demoralization of women, he puts in quotations. There's nothing holding women accountable for their behavior, and it's negatively affecting everyone, whether they're aware of it or not. Yeah, I guess. But if you're aware, you got the bubble. You got the bubble, right? So you actually don't need to change women, right? You're like, I'm aware. You can't be aware and be like, oh, porn is destroying me. That's not how it works. I remember you saying, oh, I can't. Oh, oops, sorry, Jesse. I'm so unaware. Oh, here I go. www. That's not how it works. Don't judge yourself, but whatever. Call Jesse for counseling. Forget about his actions and realize what he's addressing. My apologies, Eric. Let me back up. There's nothing holding women accountable for their behavior, and it's negatively affecting everyone, whether they're aware of it or not. I remember you saying, you can't start turning the knobs and expect nothing else to be affected. Forget about his actions, and I think he's talking about the shooter, and realize what he's addressing is real as saying men need women and women need men. The problem is society tells women they have no burden of responsibility towards men. It's a mind F that pushes some men to extreme actions. Here's what you know what, Eric? This is why I'm saying about like, it's not about women at all and just work on yourself. And yeah, let just God handle it. Like, should the birth rates go up? How is society going to handle the problem between men and women? Not your problem. But Nick, that sounds so flippant. Like men should care about society and what happens. No, not your problem. Follow me. And this is why that shooter wanted to do what he did. Like, he's like making it his problem. It's actually not your problem. What do we do about the birth rates? Well, you actually don't know you don't even know if it's a problem. You're just full of assumptions. Men and women there's a hypergamy thing and the birth rates and they hate each other. That's not your problem. That's society's problem. And that sounds like Nick, that sounds so irresponsible, kicking the can down the road. No, it's real. It's reality. So you're saying men need women and women need men. And the problem is society tells women they have no burdens of responsibility toward men and it puts men into extreme actions. No, those men are wrong for the extreme actions. You actually don't need any of that. You don't need to continue your race, your genealogy, or I know that sounds crazy maybe, but you don't need any of those things. That's not your problem to figure out. It's just making a baby. It's just, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? And I think putting that on you is that's a crazier problem. That's another problem. It's like a different problem. And I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying society's good or fine or anything. But that's not your problem. And so that's why I say, yeah, and I don't mean men going their own way. Just deal with women, even date them if you want to. But if I was talking to Seth Hatfield, and this is the solution to hypergamy, the solution is no solution. It's not even thinking about women or any of this at all. I heard the man draws the woman unto him in a natural way. How will you ever return to something like that by being so unnatural, thinking about all these things? And so, the truth, he goes, Eric's got some coffee, says the truth isn't about you, me, or this guy's inability to regulate emotions. The truth has to do with what he's addressing. Men need women and women need men. Women base their decisions on what's best for them and never on what's best for their husband and children. This behavior creates an imbalanced relationship between men and women, dysfunctional children, and a sick and twisted society. And so to hell with society. To the individual, to Seth Hatfield, right? To hell with society. This is what I'm getting at. We're at a point where women can display the most extreme selfish behavior imaginable. And if a man reacts hypergamy. And if a man reacts negatively, society blames the man for being the problem. Twisted. His reaction says women are his number one priority, his God, and thus their behavior affects him. Men pride themselves in the virtue of sacrifice, so they're treated as disposable by their women and country. No matter how conscious the man, never let yourself be disposable. There's something about that makes sense. An effective person is undeniable. A man is undeniable. Anyways, as much as you want to deny it. Anyways, no matter how conscious the man, I can give evidence that women are the driving force of his behavior. The only recourse is to raise men with the belief that women aren't important and pay them no mind. Maybe. I just think, let's just stop propping them up. How about just like the levers of society? Stop with all the billions and the taxes. Folks, we're talking about a giant redistribution of wealth from competent men. And usually they're just working a job to women, minorities, etc. It's insane. Let's just stop that. That sounds crazy, right? He says. But that's how we raise women. Compete with men, be their adversary, do anything a man can, do what makes you happy. You don't need a man. You can't trust a man. Men are useless, weak, abusive. They cheat, they lie. That's the message being fed to women, and their selfish behavior is the result. We set men up to tolerate sacrifice for the most extreme selfish behaviors of women. And if a man has anything to say about it, they label him an insecure incel. I think you're right about that, sir. Society shames men for women's shameful behaviors. Eric with some coffees, man. I appreciate the support. And then we'll get back to calls. Eric says, I understand what you said. You don't deserve women. That sounds right because our first reaction to everything is a predetermined belief created by a blind, evil world. So hold on a second, Eric says. Wait and see. Do you see that women aren't just told they deserve men, but they're so much better than men that men don't deserve you? When do we tell men you're so much better than women that women don't deserve you? That's the truth. Women are physical, spiritual, and a financial liability. Yet we raise men as sacrifice for their every need. Women are entitled to a no-fault divorce, the house, the kids, and a man's money. We send virgin men to die in wars for women's rights to be loose and kill babies. It's twisted. Men must make the physical sacrifice for women's rights. So do men deserve women or do women deserve rights? You don't deserve women. Are you sure? Do women deserve rights at the expense of men's lives? What do women bring to the table? How much beauty and purity and fertility does a modern woman preserve exclusively for her husband? This is a really long one, man. Like really, really long. When you consider the physical, psychological maturation of men absent of women, you'll commonly find stunted development. Right now we see women outcompeting men in education. Okay, look, I get it. You're saying it's unfair. It's very unfair. I'm following. The question remains, are you saying these incels deserve a woman? The question remains. Because I get it. It's a big, long thing on how unfair it is. I think you're right. Are you saying that XYZ man deserves XYZ woman? What is it that you're saying, Eric? Eric with the coffees, he's got something on incel here. This is interesting. Incel. There's no such thing as incel because all a man has to do is lower his standards. That word is used to escape truth. That's interesting. The shooter was a good-looking guy, he says. He obviously could get laid if he chose to. That was a high school pick. He's addressing a much deeper issue. He's addressing life fulfillment. Yeah, interesting. I was thinking that too. Okay, I'll finish your coffee because I do have a thought on this life fulfillment thing. He's saying, I don't want other men having sex with my wife while I build myself up to her unrealistic standards. Why should a man be responsible for building a life for a woman that doesn't build it with him? The majority of men share this sentiment. The male loneliness epidemic is from female open hypergamy, which just means women sleeping with men out of their league. Don't you see how the incels are evil for that? They're saying their weakness loudly and proudly like it's a good thing. So when they say, oh, my life's not fulfilled, they're saying that women is their God. The women are their God. And they're proud about it. They're saying it like that's a good thing. But that's not how a man should be. And then when you think about that, you're like, well, is it almost a surprise? Yeah, sure. Women are inflated, and it's probably messing with the birth rates. But when you consider what I just said, are you almost surprised that that individual saying that has no women? It's almost no surprise. It's like, wow, you will never have one and don't deserve one in that sense. Because that's exactly what pushes them away, making them their God. So he says hypergamy. Eric says, I listened to Steven Crowder and Tim Pool give their just be better bro speeches using their subjective experiences. I gather they spoke on this. Of course, that's all a man can do, but they completely failed to understand hypergamy and truth. Hypergamy says women have sex with the best man they can until they run out of time to get married and have children. Then they settle for a man on their level and resent him for the rest of his life. Sounds like a miserable existence. Yeah, that happens. I think a lot of stuff is exaggerated on the internet. Why would a man sign up for that? I think a lot of that stuff is exaggerated. I think the misery in marriages is a lot more general Sir, if I may, just talk to any married people. Find me a happy married person. Shout out. You may be in the chat. And that's because evil is like, when you're evil, who knows what'll piss you off? You know what I mean? Who knows what story you're like unhappy about now? Because some of this reads like like women are not supposed to be hypergamous. I don't know. Maybe I've never been mad about. I've never had a problem with it, so I'm not resentful about it. And I'm not saying you are, Eric. Where was I? Sorry, I'm sweating here because it's like mere minutes away. The calls are here, and there's like a bunch of super chats here, like really long super chats. And you've been holding so long. I mean, look, here's how we're going to do this. Everything with its proper time. We're doing super chats. Let's give the super chats its proper time. Eric was talking about Steven Crowder here. He says, hypergamy says women, truth has nothing to do with you, me, or the shooter, because truth is not found in subjective experience. My experience is a lie. It's meaningless. Truth is objective. Truth says men don't value other men sleeping with their wives. That's an objective truth. Truth says if all men go through the self-improvement journey of Rocky Balboa, they'll still need to wait 15 years while their wife tries to land a better boxer. That's the problem. That's an exaggeration, man. We can agree on the like I was agreeing with my caller. Look, we can quibble on the minutia, but okay, women's egos are inflated. Like, we can have a conversation on that. But this is like 15 years while your wife lands a better boxer. Women have never been more promiscuous in the history of the world because the average age of marriage for a woman in 1970 was 21 years old. There was no time for her to sleep around, and she had no access to the world wide web of men through social media. In 2026, when the average woman participates in selfish sexual behavior, from 15 to 30 years old, she abandons her husband. To escape the shame of her behaviors, she develops a deceitful personality. Hell comes through the woman because the truth isn't in her. Men can't tell women the truth or else suffer her wrath. Men live to appease her imagination in a futile attempt to maintain peace. The spirit of evil passes to the next generation as everyone fears upsetting. Sir, we got to the end of the show in the middle of your super chat, so I apologize. We'll get to it. Try to keep it pithier, man. A lot of repetition, but thanks for the support. Yeah, it's a problem. We can quibble on how big. Yeah, what's the solution? I say lower women's status. Keep them out of the way. We'll get to the rest of your super chats tomorrow, sir. It's the end of the show, and I can't get to your calls. Call me tomorrow, callers. Thanks for the patience. More American Anchor Baby tomorrow after Bible Thumper Thursday. It's already here. What the? More Hake Report, and of course, more American Anchor Baby. Thank you for your support. We did the calls, super chats, topics, and all that. I'll see y'all tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby. Take care. See you tomorrow. Oh, Lil Nick too. He's got to say bye. Bye. Oops. Bye.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.
Punchy TV at 2 p.m. with Bill. Don't miss it. Punchy TV on YouTube, punchy.tv, Punchy TV with Bill. Don't mess with Bill.